big chill, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some type of creature that's blue with flight who has power over ice. They just took Zari's abilities and your abilities and meshed it together. That's all they did. They play around a lot, man. These people in the occult, yeah, you know, they really love to play. Playing to the prophecy. The amount of divination, because obviously they didn't, get the understanding to the prophecy, you know, through the spirit of God. No, they went to devils for this, right? Right. Yeah, they went to devils to get the understanding of prophecy. Like I said, Nayana, these comics, these didn't just come out recently. These comics came out 30, 40, hell, if not 60 something years before we even, came through the matrix and were birthed into this world. Insane. Nonetheless, though, that's what it is. And as time goes on, I'm going to continue to make more videos. The more revelations I get, I'm going to throw up more videos. Also, really quickly, Nayana, back to Dino Thunder, that show. Now the girl who had the power of the pterodon, right? Now, obviously, they were telling the truth. She should have been the Blue Ranger, right? See what they did there? They were telling the truth. She should have been the Blue Ranger. Nonetheless, though, her character, not only did she had power, she had flight, she had the power of the pterodon. Not just that, though, but she had an ability to, scream or yell, you could say, and blow back her enemies with the power of her scream, of her yell, of her screech, right? Yeah. They're telling the truth, yet they're lying to you. Yeah, somebody on this squad, somebody on this team is going to be able to scream, yell, you could say, and knock back, their enemies with the power of their yell, of their shout, what I'm saying? But it's not you, not the boys, but it's going to be me, right? Baby, again, I'm sure you read the book of Yasher, Judah, right? Yahuda. Well, when they were in around chapter 40 or 41, when him and when Jacob and the boys, what I'm saying, were fighting with those Canaanite kings there that rose up against them. In the midst of fighting, Yahuda, we see that Yahuda was able to lift up a shout, what I'm saying, in a scream, right, a whelp, and he floored his enemies with the power of his scream, of his yell, of his whelp. I believe that the scriptures say that, well, the earth rent, saying at the sound of Yahuda's whelp. It's, saying, it's symbolic. Obviously, when we talk about the Lion of Judah, right? Yeah, right. Judah was like a lion's whelp, right? Judah was like a lion. If you fast forward down to the New Testament, all right, when we go to New Testament, you fast forward to the Lion of Judah, Nayana, our blessed King and Elohim, Yahusha. What do we see before he got crucified? When those soldiers came to grab him and take him, what do we see? I believe that they asked him, saying, I think Yahusha had asked him, whom seekest thou? Or, saying, they said Yahusha of Nazareth. And Yahusha said, I am he. He didn't scream. He didn't even yell it. But all he said was, I am he. And the dudes who came to grab him, well, they got knocked back and they fell back. It's symbolic. Nayana, I'm going to have the ability to roar. Now on Dino Thunder, she was screaming. It's not going to be a scream, but it's going to be a roar. I'm going to be able to roar and knock back our enemies. I'm going to be able to. I'm going to have a supersonic, yell or roar, you could say. Again, this is going to be far out. Yeah, but nonetheless, though, my bride, this is going to be this is an awesome thing. Yahuwah is doing with all seven of us. This is and no doubt, this is a dreadful and a terrible thing. What I'm saying? No doubt to our enemies. This is I'm saying, if they're not shaking and trembling in fear now, they will be in a second. Yeah, they will be in a second. And also another thing that another connection that popped into my mind the other day when I was reading scripture pertaining to the the sixth and the seventh acquisition. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting down reading, I think I was reading John. Yeah, I was reading John, somewhere in John. And yeah, you know what I'm saying, baby, I'm sure you remember when Yahusha, did that miracle, you know what I'm saying, when he fed those, I think it was the 5,000. Yeah, he had them sit down and, you know what I'm saying, had them all sit down, you know what I'm saying, on the grass, and then he took the five loaves, right? And then the two small fishes, and he fed the people. He took the five loaves and the two small fishes, and he fed the people, right? Nayana, I believe that is symbolic. The five loaves, right? Five loaves and the two small fishes. Hell, I believe it's symbolic for us in a sense as well. Five loaves, right? Me, you, Zari, Daniel, Silo, and then the sixth and the seventh acquisition, right? You know what I'm saying? Or the sixth and the seventh acquisition to the team will be the two small fishes. I believe that's what that means as well on a deeper level. Yeah. Nonetheless, though, Niana, it's this is wild. This is far out. This is going to be very exciting. Like I talked about in the last video, this future that the Most High Yah has laid up for us, it is a beautiful future. Nonetheless, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a lot of adversities. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, bad times we're going to have to fight and battle through. But as I said in the other video, thank God we'll be together. Yeah. It's gonna be it's a lot of beautiful times coming, a lot of good time, a lot of joy coming, yet there's gonna be also a lot of sorrow to come, a lot of bad times, a lot of tribulation to come, but thank God we'll be together in those times. It's funny too, because you know I'm saying, another thing that I noticed that popped out to me, Storm. I'm gonna throw this image on the screen here in a second, but Storm, she was fighting somebody, and I forgot the quote. Now I had just grabbed this image off of Google. The context of what is happening right here in this comic, I don't honestly have the full understanding, but it says here at the top, right, right, nameless, right, the shapeshifter queen, da 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 da, right, yeah, yeah, the shapeshifter queen. Um, I think she's fighting a clone. Nonetheless, though, yeah, no doubt, for what it is, you are the shapeshifter's queen, Nayana, because obviously I'm going to be able to shapeshift into any creature, any beast. You're the shapeshifter queen. You're the shapeshifter's queen. Um, you know what I'm saying? And also another connection I made, and I'm sure, baby, you've probably never played this game before. It's called Legends. Now, as I've been saying all throughout this video, when I look back on things, right, TV shows, movies I've watched, right, cartoon characters, etc., and no doubt video games, right, that I've had a strong, pull to, growing up, what I'm saying, due to the revelations that have been revealed and given to me, now I understand why. And this game, Apex Legends, I was extremely addicted to this game, But I'm bringing this up because there was a character on this game called Bloodhound. Now, this guy on the game, this character Bloodhound, he pretty much had my abilities. He was able to scan, and he was able to see where anybody was. He was able to scan and see where anybody was. He was able to track footsteps. I mean, he was a hunter in a sense. That was his character. Yeah. And not just that, though, he had an ultimate ability that enabled him to, what the heck can I even say? I mean, he would, hit his ultimate, right? Using, right, via a device, right? He would, pretty much you could say go beast mode, right? Yeah, yeah. His character would go beast mode. That was his like super ability, and he would go beast mode via a device he had on his wrist. And he would hit some buttons on it, and he was like do 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 ding, and he would go beast and he would go beast mode, animal mode. He would start saying he would be able to see everything. You know what I'm saying? With his heat-seeking vision, and he was able to move exceedingly fast. He pretty much all this character on the dang game pretty much had all my abilities, with the exception of the invisibility, right? Yeah, and obviously the ability to morph into other animals. But nonetheless, though, yeah. But I'm bringing him up, Nayana, because he had this character. What I'm saying, obviously and also as well, if they're telling the truth, obviously he was Bloodhound. That was his persona, a Bloodhound. That's a tracking dog, but it's a dog, right? Same thing they did on Fantastic 4 with the Human Torch. They were telling the truth. He should have been ice-like Human Torch, right? Yeah. Same thing here. Bloodhound? No, I'm gonna be cat-like, but the character they put on the game to symbolize me was canine, right? He had a canine persona when he should have had something. He should have been something feline, right? What I'm saying, like a cat. Nonetheless, though, that aside, uh, this character Bloodhound, he had a what can I say? The character had you could say a pet raven. Yeah, I remember this dude. What I'm saying, they had did like what I'm saying, a special event with him, and they had made a place for him on the map in the game, and there was like a huge raven. What I'm saying, that was with him. They had like made it like a huge raven statue for him somewhere on the map. And also, yeah, this character Bloodhound, he would have ravens, or a raven with him everywhere that he went. What I'm saying? He really loved that raven. That raven was with him everywhere he went. It's so symbolic. Bloodhound is me. The raven, Nayana, is you. Truth in plain sight. And obviously, this is going to go way over your head if you're, saying, but the Ruroc is revealing so much to me. So many things I've seen in time past. The Ruroc is revealing it to me. But yeah, you're the Raven. Bloodhound is me. Same thing on Teen Titans. Beast Boy is me. Right? Yeah. Raven is you. Incredible. Nonetheless, though, Nayana, I'm on day, what, 5? The heck times is 1 o'clock. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock. Just about 2 o'clock in the afternoon now. It's on day 5. That's what it's gonna be. I'm gonna continue to make videos like this. But make no mistake about it. I love you, baby. I love you, my bride. I love you, Nayana. I was, months ago, I was writing, pistols like on paper, but now that I got a phone, well, the means by which I got it's not lawful, but nonetheless, I got a phone now. So, these videos, I'm gonna have you sit down and watch these, all of these. That's gonna be a beautiful day, having you sit down and, just being able to sit down and watch these with you. It's gonna be beautiful. I love you, my olive tree. This is incredible what the Father's doing with us. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty neat. I'm sure, man. I just think about all of it. You're gonna be able to create tsunamis, bring down hurricanes, tornadoes, and I'll be able to morph into any creature, you know, that exists today, and even creatures that are extinct. Even creatures that Yahuwah didn't even necessarily make, which blew me away. Yeah, right. Yeah, for real. Yeah, that blew me away. Even creatures necessarily Yahuwah didn't even make. Now, truly, at the end of the day, if anything is alive, if anything has the, what I'm saying, is alive and is, able to exist, it's because, well, Yahuwah, what I'm saying, nonetheless gave the life at the end of the day. If something is breathing and something has a beating heart, it's because, well, Yahuwah, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, Yahuwah made all things. But there are, creatures that, have existed down here, saying that Yahuwah necessarily didn't make it the first. Especially when we talk about the dinosaurs. He's gonna give me the ability to, morph Nayana into dinosaurs, right? The Spinosaurus, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm sure you've heard of this one, right, baby? The saber-toothed tiger. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna, saying there's and even aquatic, saying dinosaurs that shoot, I don't even know the name of this one that's on the screen, but nonetheless, he'll give me the ability to transform into that. like I talked about before, he's gonna allow me to transform into that Sulaluth that came out of the ocean into Egypt, like we